So, just for fun, I found this video on Feminist Frequency's channel, and I already love the title. Queer tropes, press B to hate gay people. Chick, please. Most gay people don't even find this stuff offensive. Because they know it's video games, they know it's fiction. But we're going to take a look at this video. And they're attacking Zelda Breath of the Wild. This is right when Breath of the Wild came out. So you know Feminist Frequency had to latch onto the teat of Nintendo for those sweet, sweet victim points and those abilities to grab clicks off of a popular title. So let's see what they have to say.
With 2017's The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Nintendo boldly rewrote the rules governing the design of one of the most renowned and beloved video game franchises of all time. By tossing out rigid, formulaic elements that had become deeply entrenched in Zelda games over a period of decades, the designers created a wonderful new vision for the series, one that emphasized exploration, experimentation, and player freedom. However, as bold and innovative as Breath of the Wild was in so many ways, there was one aspect of it that felt like a disappointing relic of the past.
Does it have something to do with a joke in the game that you are taking way too seriously and are probably misinterpreting the entire thing to its fullest degree? Could that be it? Nah. It couldn't be you just overthinking a simple joke. You would never do that, would you?
At one point, Link's quest takes him to Gerudo Town, a desert city which men are forbidden to enter. Denied access, his quest seems to be at a standstill.
Okay, so I never got to this part. I checked out of Breath of the Wild many years ago, like about a year and a half ago. Let me rephrase that. So I never got to this part, but probably it's going to be the stereotypical cartoon-esque trope of dressing up like a lady to get into the place where the ladies are. That's been a thing in cartoons and video games for years. You really are just gonna blow something out of proportion. That's really not that big of a deal, are you? And I thought you were better than that.
What's a hero to do? Link picks up on rumors of a man sneaking in and out of the town, though as he follows the lead, he starts hearing not of a man, or vo as the Gerudo people say, but of a woman, or vi. Link heads to the rooftop where the woman is rumored to spend time in the afternoons, and that's where he encounters Villia, the person all these rumors have been about.
Okay, you're speaking way too slow. I'm gonna just speed you up a couple notches.
Villia is indeed dressed in traditional female Gerudo garb, and when asked about the rumors of a man sneaking in and out of the town, Villia professes ignorance, so we can infer that Villia identifies as female.
Or it could be, and hear me out. It could be that the dude is undercover, and the dude doesn't want to be found out, so he's playing ignorant, so that way he can keep his cover. I just blew my mind. I did not know that that type of logic could even happen in a video game.
Villia identifies as female, but, and here's the problem, the game doesn't actually respect Villia's gender identity. In fact,
We don't even know the dude's gender identity. You're assuming that the dude identifies as trans. You're assuming, and that's all you can do, because like Pink News, you only see things through the lens of LGBT identity. Nothing else could ever be true. Just you look at the thing up front and you think that this person identifies as trans. Yeah.
Plays that identity for laughs. See, in order to get the help you need from Villia to sneak into Gerudo Town yourself, you have to choose interaction options that make Villia feel as if you both find her attractive and have no clue that she's trans. But the alternate options at every step of the way suggest that Link is just playing along, stroking Villia's ego to get what he wants, and that both Link and the player are in on the joke that Villia can't actually successfully pass as a cisgender woman.
Okay, and what's your point? If you suck at passing like Bruce Jenner does, then people are not gonna really buy it, now are they? Or GameStop ma'am. Let us not forget GameStop ma'am.
The joke is driven home after Link purchases some traditional Gerudo clothes for himself when a sudden gust of wind blows Villia's veil aside to reveal some facial hair. Hilarious.
Yes, it is.
To be fair, Breath of the Wild's emphasis on player freedom means that the game allows you, as Link, to purchase and wear a decent assortment of feminine-coded clothing and jewelry throughout the game. And this freedom is definitely welcome. Some trans players in particular have created fan art celebrating Link in Gerudo attire, and some fans play the game with a personal interpretation, or headcanon, that Link is actually
kind of like you just did with the dude that Link was talking to that was wearing the pink feminine garments.
Trans. But while it can be empowering and validating for us as marginalized people to bring our own personal interpretations to our experience of a work, it's still important to note that what the game itself gives us, and what most players will experience, is a cruel and unnecessary mockery of trans identities. In this regard, for all of its fresh and exhilarating design choices, Breath of the Wild feels positively ancient, part of a long, long tradition of video games perpetuating homophobia and transphobia.
Sure, Jan.
But before we finish this video up, let's take a look at how far back she goes to find the earliest forms of transphobia. Because that's what Feminist Frequency likes to do. They like to go back to outdated movies and video games to prove their point.
Well, in 1985, a public domain text adventure called Mad Party Fucker was released for the Commodore 64. In that game, you play someone attending a party whose goal, as the instruction screen states, is, quote, to fuck as many women as you can without getting boo-fooed by fags, parentheses, contracting AIDS, end quote. That's a pretty clear example of mocking and demonizing gay men by presenting them as deadly predators. Now, maybe you think it's not really fair to consider a text adventure game made by a couple of guys in Cleveland that very few people have ever heard of or played when looking at the history of homophobia and transphobia in games. But Mad Party Fucker is far from the only game with explicit homophobic or transphobic elements.
Yes. And that's the nature of video games. That's the nature of movies. That's the nature of any type of entertainment. You're gonna have people making jokes about all sorts of things, and then people like you being perpetually triggered by them. Good day to you.